And I'm back for another video, and if you don't know who I am Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer was a terrible person, and where he's at right now is where he deserved to be. But if you just like everybody else in this world, you watched the documentary and it was amazing. I'm not gonna lie, I liked it. I want to see what people would do if I come at them as Jeffrey Dahmer. Like I said at the beginning, Jeffrey Dahmer is a place that he deserves to be. But what's popping right now? Let's get into it. I'm Jeffrey Dahmer.
You're Jeffrey Dahmer?
Yeah. You know who Jeffrey Dahmer is,
yes,
right?
I do. Yeah, okay.
That's me today.
That's good.
Hey, you want to get a drink?
There you go.
You want a drink?
What's going on, YouTube friends and family? It's your boy AJ Red, and I'm back to discuss this fucking situation. What the fuck is this? What is this? We finna discuss it. Y'all ready? All right, here the fuck we go. It's the AJ Red Show, starring me, AJ Red. Look, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Y'all ready to get into this next topic? Let's go. Alakazam, Alakazoom. Watch out, y'all. Your boy AJ Red is back in the motherfucking room. Listen, what's up? Welcome back to the AJ Red Show. It's me, your boy, AJ Red. Listen, for my new subscribers, welcome, welcome, welcome. If this is your first video, I welcome you with open arms. Thank you for joining the channel. Hopefully you've already hit that notification bell. And of course, hit that thumbs up. That's that like button. It helps a brother out a lot. And please share these videos with your family, friends, cousins, other cousins, you know, shit like that. For my A1 since day ones, I appreciate you guys again, of course, for being around. If it had not been for you all, I wouldn't even be discovered the way I am today. So I really appreciate it so much. But listen, getting into tonight's topic, I have to discuss this fucking going on right here. This is some bullshit, right? I wanted to discuss, first of all, I want to say I am one of the ones, as you did watch the video that I posted, you know, the guy's video. I think his name is Devin or some shit like that. He was placed under fire, basically getting his ass roasted behind even putting this mock ass video up. But to add to that, I also want to say, you know, with this video, yes, a lot of people did watch the video. I was one of those people that watched the Jeffrey Dahmer documentary. I didn't find the sadistic shit interesting. I found it sick. I found it disgusting. I found it repulsive. And it was no wonder people were, you know, kind of boycotting in somewhat of a fashion to say they wanted to have it removed from Netflix. But before I talk about that, well, basically, let me start with the movie first. Fuck it. So I did watch the documentary. I saw the whole series. I watched the whole motherfucking series. You know, episodes 1 through 10 in like 2-3 days, something like that. And I kind of had planned on getting on here and kind of talking about it, how I felt about it. You know, kind of give you guys an idea of what it was like watching it for me during that time, right? Now, I don't know if you guys watched it or not, the Jeffrey Dahmer documentary. If you did, please drop down in the comments and let me know if you did and how you felt about the video. I didn't really know if I was going to do a video about Jeffrey Dahmer, but I'll just take this shit because this bullshit right here is what actually pushed me into overdrive, right? I watched the shit. It angered me enough as it was. It really pissed me off. And it pissed me off on several fucking aspects of the spectrum. One, when I thought about it, Jeffrey Dahmer, you know, was, like I said, a crazy ass motherfucker. You know, he had no good sense. His parents treated him like pretty much a secondhand mule. You know, he was raised in a home to where they were kind of successful, I guess, like middle class, maybe, a family. His dad did, I don't even fucking know. I don't know if he sold insurance, you know, I don't know what the fuck he did, if he was an accountant or what. But I know the mom just basically stayed at home. And she had a lot of mental issues herself. She was taking somewhere to like 23, 26 fucking pills a day while pregnant with Jeffrey Dahmer. So, which honestly made me think that pretty much fed into his craziness. Now, his dad, looking at it, he was, because we're going to get into this shit right here, trust me. I'm not going to let this go. I refuse. Like a dog with a bone. The dad had a lot of issues with the mom taking all these medications while pregnant with the child. He was, I think, the only son. And he was trying to kind of coddle her, make sure she was doing the right things, you know, not taking too many medications, going to the doctor periodically as pregnant women should, and meeting those appointments. But even after the fact of all that shit where this crazy woman was sitting out on the bench with blue fucking feet in the snow, you know, on the bus stop while pregnant with this child. And she was having some psychotic break or something like that, like early on. But anyway, fast forwarding to him being born, his dad said he felt like, you know, ever since he had a hernia surgery or something like that, he had never been the same. Well, if you ask me, probably when he came out the womb, the motherfucker was just ready to be committed. He should have been put up, locked up, and never let go from get-go. I felt like too with the documentary, it was a lot of shit that had gone on that had really no reason to go on. Had the police actually done their fucking jobs, actually looked into this man's background, you know, checked his apartment properly and seen all this other extra shit he had going on, even doing incidents where they came into the apartment several times. But it was the fact of during that time, you know, gay was a disease. You know, you can catch gay by being around gay people. You can catch HIV and AIDS just by being around gay people in the mind. Not saying physically, it was in the mind. And the fucked up part about it is they had people on the police force that was supposed to be there to serve and protect and help people. Yet, if you watch the documentary, there were so many victims that could have been saved in the moment and even thereafter. And it was so fucked up, this motherfucker was sitting around here turning all these black men into ball bouillabaisse. Now, people also stated that it was only black men that he ate, cooked, stabbed, with all this other extra bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It was not so. It was, I guess, men of color, of course, definitely, but also Native American men and things like that. And I think not even a Caucasian man, he never ate white meat. He always ate dark meat, so I can only imagine what the fuck he was ordering down to the Popeyes in the churches when they opened the doors up over there, right? But it shed a light even more so. You know, I was so sympathetic with the families. I didn't really know the history of Jeffrey Dahmer and all the shit he had done, because around the time I started going out, you know, he had been caught, you know, years before that, you know, right on the cusp. And so I didn't really know much about him. I heard about it, you know, in the news and all this different shit as a teenager or whatever have you, but I wasn't interested in the fucking news. I didn't give a fuck what Jeffrey Dahmer was doing, who was doing it to, and all that shit then. But now looking back on it, having watched the documentary, after finding, like one of the officers said in the documentary, you targeted, you know, neighborhoods, you know, that was low income, and had issues getting the police out to the neighborhoods and shit like that. You lived in these neighborhoods to target these people, these men of color, and also Latinos and Native Americans and stuff like that. So he had a whole variety. He was making ball bouillabaisse out of these motherfucking men, right? So, but somewhere along the way, he ended up getting caught, which was, if you watched it, you would see how it all went down. I'm not really saying I'm encouraging you to go watch it, but if you really want to know the history of the shit and how it all went down, if you feel a ways about this shit like I do, which I'm glad I watched the documentary first, and now knowing what the fuck it stood for, and knowing stupid ass people like this shouldn't be allowed to even have a voice or a say when it comes to things like that. This stupid motherfucker is going around basically saying how he's Jeffrey Dahmer, knowing that mostly black men were killed, stabbed, and their fucking hearts and shit were eaten, their fucking organs and body parts stored for later on for this crazy ass motherfucking nitwit to go over here and eat up later on, rather than going down to the butcher block and getting some oxtails or some good old cut up chicken, a whole chicken cut up or some shit like that, and coming to the house and stewing it, you know, or frying that the fuck up. You know, he was going out there killing the peoples and eating them. And this silly motherfucker here wanted to pay homage to Jeffrey Dahmer in a way of putting on this goofy ass, third degree ass wig. It looked like the same wig that, what that girl name is, Halle Berry wore in that movie. Shit, I can't even think of it. But anyway, Babs. When she wore that wig in Babs, they're like the same wig he caught on auction somewhere and put that motherfucker on his head and found these old crazy white man shades or glasses and put on his fucking face. The bottom line is that's very stupid and very unintelligent. It speaks a lot to the thought process of goofy motherfuckers like this on the borderline of doing some shit like Jeffrey Dahmer did. Because in the end, you had no respect or no regard for the families that are still alive, that are still living this motherfucking horror story from way back yonder ways, when their sons, you know, were taken advantage of when they just out to have a good time and maybe meet a life partner or, you know, just shit, live it up being young and finally figuring out what the party scene was about, and probably now coming out and learning what their lifestyle could actually be. You know, Jeffrey took advantage of that, you know, slipping shit in the motherfucking drink, slipping bitches Mickeys and shit like that, and then bringing them on back to the house and all this different stuff here. And then laying up there watching horror movies and shit with a bitch. You gonna lay on my chest doing date night and gonna tell me you like to hear my... I've heard people do that, you know, with me. Lay on my heart and say, you know, your heart, you know, matches mine or some shit. I can hear your heartbeat. Why is it beating so loud? But for a motherfucker to lay on my chest and tell me I can hear your heart beating and it's loud and it sounds healthy and, you know, I can't wait to eat it. Listen, it's about to be a fight up in this motherfucker real quick for the one time. Can't be too much discussion because pretty much your mind is made up. You want to eat a bitch, and I ain't talking about it in a good way down there in the nether region with the legs cocked up back behind the head with the knees touching the shoulder. It ain't that kind of deal right there. You talking about literally cutting a bitch open with a butcher block knife, you know, banging up. No, taking different parts of me. Look, Lettuce has said these are the pieces of me, but I'm pretty motherfucking sure that's not what she meant. But like I say, and he's not the only one. I think his name was Devin or some shit like that, Davion or some shit, whatever. I didn't even take the time to really look up his page or anything like that because, like I said, it's just fucking ignorant. He's not the only one. I've seen several black guys with white friends, you know, do silly ass shit like walk around with the white guy dressed up as Jeffrey Dahmer and he's taking a drink, going back to his place or some shit like that. Honestly, look, y'all gotta be some motherfucking buffoons. And like I say, for the gay community, you know, LGBTQRXZY, all that, you know what I'm saying? We should be more offended by shit like this. And I'm not saying offended to the part we got to call a rally or, you know, call a council meeting and all this different shit. You know, it's just basically saying growing the fuck up. And apparently this dude, he hadn't grown the fuck up. Because for you to go out in the public dressed like this, what if you meet somebody that really had a mental, you know, breakdown or seen some shit like the person that lay around there and fucked up the thing for Jeffrey down there to the prison house? And you just seen some shit like this with a motherfucker up in the shipless donut or down to the Krispy Kreme or at the McDonald's, dressed like this, and then not only dressed like this, but have the nerve to boast about who he's pretending to be. And then that clicks in their motherfucking head, and all of a sudden now they following him around, looking to not only cut this motherfucking wig off his motherfucking head, which, you know, somebody should de-wig him. Somebody should take that party cap and snatch it right the fuck off and throw it across a parking lot somewhere and probably put their foot so far up in his ass that when he bends over, it turns into double doors to nobody's church. Because like I say, even if it's not an offense to the gay community, it's an offense to blacks, Native Americans, you know, Latinos. And I ain't saying white folks shouldn't be, offended as well, because anybody should be offended that's a real fucking human being, you know, that's, God knows a pescatarian, vegetarian ought to be offended. He was eating people. Shit. He wasn't just sitting around there kidding them, you know, falling in love or, you know, having a one-night stand and kidding them and shit like that. Although he did have one-night stands with most of them, and it came out to be nothing but a one-night stand or one-night late or whatever. And somebody had some killer pussy or some good ass. Listen. Like I say, y'all better learn your people. Don't be going home with everybody over there on these different apps and all these motherfucking tenderizers and all this other shit y'all be up on downloading apps to my go and meet people and set over to their house for them to cook you something and drink you something. Bitch, bring your own drink. BYOB. Stick it down in your pocketbook, your bag, your book bag or whatever. Especially the first time meeting, bring your own shit. I don't want your glass. I don't want your food. I don't want your drink. Listen, and I'm in this bitch with a 9 on me and a taser and probably a box cutter. So you start some shit if you want to, and I'm gonna be the one calling the motherfucking authorities. But the bottom line is back to the matter at hand. It's again people like this not having a good enough motherfucking sense and actually having a heart. Because like I said, the only good thing I seen come out of this documentary, and that's to why I kind of wasn't really boasting for it to be, you know, shut down or taken off of Netflix, is because, again, in my teenage years, I did not know a lot about what happened to these gentlemen and these young men during that time and what Jeffrey Dahmer had done. I've heard about, you know, and like I say, somebody eating motherfuckers. I'm sitting there saying that's pretty nasty. 9 to my 10, it's a myth. Somebody making the shit up. I didn't go down there to the news and watch. We didn't have no galoo. Shit, internet, you know, had just come up on the scene like talking about, fuck y'all. Yes, I'm aged. nice wine. Listen, don't you wish you can pop the cork? Hallelujah. But anyway, you know, we didn't have all that stuff back then to go and look up. Maybe newspapers was our, you know, our best resource, especially in a home where even if internet was out, you didn't have the means to have internet and a computer to look these things up. So it was newspapers and watching the news. That's all the fuck you had back during that time, and listening to the radio in the car or maybe at the house. But it shed light to me on this documentary. Actually shed light to me on the victims and what actually happened to them. A lot of this shit was kind of far-fetched, not all detailed correctly, or, you know, all the little intricacies were not there. But just the idea of what happened and what took place, that this took place, actually would fuck you up. If you're not a strong-headed person, you can actually watch this shit. Or, you know, y'all mystery folks and shit like that watch First 48 and shit like that, work at the DA's office and that kind of stuff, working in criminal justice. This kind of stuff would actually not bother y'all at all. But, you know, pescatarians and all them kind of folks and them garlic people, I ain't gonna say garlic folk, they say it bothers them, but they'll sit right there and watch that shit with a cup of coffee and a cronut and not even be bothered. But again, to me, it shed a lot of light on the victims. It gave them, again, a chance to have a voice after so many years after this had happened. It made them not be forgotten, because in the end, you know, and throughout the video, it didn't name all of the victims throughout the video. All of the victims didn't play a role, which I guess to me, shit, it would have carried over to probably in 2 and 3 seasons had they gone through every victim and every detail of what happened to them, which I would have been here for it because I want to know. But still, even after this documentary, I went and watched interviews with that fucking butternut, that crazy motherfucker, Jeffrey Dahmer, and I still wanted to just jump through the phone and just fuck him smooth right on up for the one time, because at the end of the day, even though you have all this shit going on inside yourself, in your mind and your heart, find yourself somewhere to go check yourself in and let somebody see about you. And give you a couple of couple of Tic Tacs, a couple of placebos. I couldn't get the shit out. Placebos or some pills or some Haldol or something, and let them straighten and help you. Some therapy or some shit like that. But for him to just go off and, you know, do some weird ass shit like that. Now his dad really gave a good leg up in this shit by teaching him how to fuck up this roadkill, picking up all this old shit. That's why I say teach your kids the right way. That was fucked up. Now, you would have thought he'd have taken from that. If his dad had been like a mortician or something like that, it would have made a little bit more sense. But his dad, I don't know what the fuck he did. He stayed gone half the time anyway. You know, even when he got mad with that crazy ass mama of his. So the whole family to me was fucked up. I say burn the whole goddamn thing and start all over again. I don't know where the brother is, because apparently the only smart one, he done decided to change his name, you know, disassociate himself with the family, get the fuck from around the thing, and leave the peoples alone, because he didn't want that stigma attached to him and his going forward family that he chooses to have. And hopefully he not out there doing no crazy ass motherfucking shit beneath the scenes that we waiting to find out about. But, you know, it's like equally stupid. Like I said, this is fucking stupid. There's been several black guys that have gotten on TikTok, Instagram, you know, Facebook, you know, all these different apps, and pretended to be Jeffrey Dahmer, or either be one of the pretend to be one of the victims of Jeffrey Dahmer. And it really is a slap in the motherfucking face to the family members that are still living and that are still living this fucking fucked up trauma of knowing not only did this crazy ass bitch kill my son, but this bitch had the nerve to eat him. You got to be out of your motherfucking chalupa to just want to think about sitting up, looking at somebody in the club and thinking about taking them home because they're so beautiful and so sexy that you just want to eat them. And again, I state, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, if that's your thing to eat people, but, you know, but not in a deadly manner. When you just want to take a bitch home and slice them open and take out their heart and harvest their organs to cook them later on, bitch, listen, it would have been a lot cheaper. Well, listen, on the back end, it would have been a lot cheaper to go on down there to the butcher block, to the meat market, and go and pick you out a little sample of some meat. Back then, I'm pretty sure it was a lot cheaper than it is now, of course, because y'all know they over here trying to clone the motherfucking meat now, talking about bringing us clone meat, 3D meat. I'm good. I am good. Y'all gonna fuck around and have me out here picking up grass about here in the yard that I grew myself and taking it up in the fucking kitchen and frying it with some butter and some Mrs. Dash and eating that fucking shit and drinking some well water, because y'all got me fucked up. I'm not eating that bullshit. But anyway, it just, again, it feeds into the fuckery that's in the minds of people that are in power, that are not in power, and hell, even some of those that are in between, you know. But I just had to get on here and say, shit like this brother did is fucked up. And honestly, it's no wonder to me. I don't see why they don't go and take shit like that off the media, social media. Flag them, make them take that shit down. You know, those are the accounts you should be fucking around with over there. You know, flagging real quick, shutting their fucking ass down and telling them to go somewhere and sit down. Because again, there was so much attention brought to the fucking movie when it came out. I kept hearing so much about it. I went and watched it in 2 or 3 days. And other folks are, oh, I'm on episode 3. Oh, I'm on episode 4. I'm like, don't you want to know what the fuck going on and how they get on to the end? What happens in the end? I mean, of course we know he was caught and hauled into jail and all this different stuff here and shit. A couple of times he was caught and still didn't get caught. That's the part I'm talking about. You know. And I'm just going to say it. The reason he got away with it for so motherfucking long was because of the color of his skin. Because he was a white man. When he first killed that first child, when them parents had them went on about their business and separated and went their different ways and all this different shit. And y'all go watch the documentary because I'm not going to tell you all about it. But when he first killed that first boy, on the way to that concert, my whole thing is that should have been an arrest, a found body, a trial at best. You know what I'm saying? Take this motherfucker and lock him up. Let's see what's going on with him. Let's figure this thing out. And we need to put him behind bars and let him be taken care of. And maybe at that time he'd had one body under his belt. But because he killed that young man, allegedly on accident, which basically is what activated him into his bloodthirst of wanting to do the shit again and again and again and again and again, but just do it more in a way it was more fun, and he was getting that same rush that he was getting from mutilating them fucking animals that his dad was picking up on the side of the fucking road bringing home with all them tools and shit back there in the shed. And like the mama say, you call me crazy, but y'all back there with some sick sadistic shit back there cutting up roadkill and shit back there in the garage. That ain't too much more fucking crazy than me. So that's why I say the whole family just take him and put him in the house, burn him up, start all over again. And maybe let the brother out depending on what the fuck he's doing nowadays. But he took that shit to a whole nother level. And like I said, he could have been caught, but it was because of the color of his skin. They told him, okay, well, he said, well, my parents just got a divorce. I'm having a couple of drinks and riding around, going somewhere to a dump or some shit, dumping some shit. Well, what the fuck you going to dump? Let's check them bags out in that back seat. They didn't think to do any of that. And that crazy, sadistic motherfucker would have been caught then. But because of the color of his skin, they let him go and even said, I'm not going to fuck up your night because you can have a bright future ahead of you. He did, you know, in aspects of what he wanted to do, what his mind would activate him to do, which was go out and be predatorial and bring in, you know, men that was looking for a good time or, you know, just having fun or just probably coming out for the first time. That's fucked up to come out for the first time to the club and then you end up getting ate. And like I say, not in a good way. That's fucked up. And I'm so glad that the people, I'm going to say the families, in the end, they still did not win. No family won in this shit at all. Jeffrey's family, the families of the victims, nobody really won in this case because these people lost their child, brother, cousin, you know, friend and shit like this. And there's nothing you can do about it now other than try to collect the coin off of it. Now, I don't know. I don't think the families gave rights to per se to do this documentary. I think the documentary was depicted off of Jeffrey Dahmer's life, and they're probably going to save their asses by saying, or have saved their asses by saying, look, we were just talking about him, and what he did was fucked up. You know, his family, of course, gave the rights, probably, I'm sure, with hands down, his dad or whatever, if he's still someone walking the earth. And his stepmama probably, of course, you know, gave the rights, and I'm sure his crazy-ass mama, to put his life story out there and collect on that. And we was really talking about that, but hindsight just letting you know we're pretty much putting your son or your, you know, nephew or whatever in the thing because we want to shed some light on to what happened and we want to give them a voice again. Like I stated before, you got to think like they think. We gave a voice to those victims that could not speak for themselves, even from, you know, from beyond the grave. You know, which some of them spoke out with evidence that was left around for them to find. But in the end, shit, That was fucked up. And like I say, watching the first episode, I was just so fucking tense, and my heart was pounding so much. My watch went off and said heart rate up to 146. Listen, even when I work out, my heart rate don't even pop up like that. And if it does, I can notice it before my watch dings off and tell me. That was like the second time I've owned that damn Apple Watch, and it actually dinged off and told me, listen, your heart rate done gone up. Sit your ass down somewhere, or figure out the situation and bring yourself back down before you get a panic attack or an anxiety attack or some shit like that. So, but watching that first episode, my watch went off, say heart rate elevated to 146, and I felt it pounding and beating because I was damn near holding my breath. And I was just basically feeling how fucking bad or it could have felt, or how scared you could have been in that moment. You know, to know at this point, this man didn't bring you over here, you know, to shake one off in the sheets. He didn't bring you over here to fuck around with the fuck around. He didn't bring you over here to bang out his back doors and shit like that, or, you know, get yours knocked down. He didn't bring you over here for that. He brought you here for some eating. But the fucked up part about it is you was the main dish in a bad way. And for that young man to sit there, tears rolling down his face and shit, I'm sure it was like a fucking vampire, Jeffrey Dahmer, sitting there hearing his heart beating outside of his chest because the child was scared as fuck. And it was such a comfort to see the end and how it turned out with that episode, at least. Like I said, I don't want to sit and encourage you to go watch it, but if you feel like you need to know what went on, if you are in the LGBTQ community and you want to know what all went on, like I say, these motherfuckers are still out here. I'm pretty sure there's a crazy motherfucker somewhere around here still eating people. Trust me. I guarantee you, with all the shit that's going on today, I guarantee you that's one of those, a few of those are still walking the earth. I can promise you that. So that's why I say be very careful. Y'all go out in groups and shit like that. Don't be trusting folks going to their house and shit. Get to know a motherfucker first. Get to know them first. Don't just meet up in no club about going back to their house and party and shit. You fuck around there and party for your last time. And the next thing you know, they be second lining your ass, you know, down the boulevard, getting you on down to the cemetery to, you know, shovel some dirt over you. And listen to shit. You want a happy ending, not a funny ending. I'm pretty sure. So you better check that shit out. But like I said, in lights of this, black guys, listen, whether you're in the lifestyle or not, that shit is not cool. Y'all got to cut that the fuck out. That was a stupid ass video. It was a disrespectful ass video. And it wasn't funny worth the fuck. Even the little white lady that was standing in the background, she didn't find it funny. I felt like her response was like, it's awkward as fuck. She was like, oh, he's like, you want to go out for drinks? He's asking the cashier. She was like, don't do it. I mean, I guess you feel compelled to say something since this motherfucker is actually approaching you. And me personally, I'd have been like, you know, man, get the fuck on up out here with that bullshit. That's stupid as fuck. And anybody got time for that? That's what I would have told him. So if one of y'all out there playing around, listen, don't come up on me with that bullshit, because I'm gonna cuss your ignorant ass out. I'm gonna put you in your place. And just all I say is be ready for what comes after. That is stupid. I don't approve of a white guy out doing some shit like that, Asian, Chinese, whatever. Definitely, you know, a black dude, it's too many out there being stupid. Now, I've seen one or two, when they got to be like 15, 20 of y'all, somebody's holding a stupid club motherfucking meeting some goddamn well. And this baboon, muppet mouth, ignorant motherfucker here is probably the head of the club. He's just the one I caught up with. That's it. He ain't the only one with that shake and go ass. Listen, he ain't the only one. But again, he need to be told to sit the fuck down somewhere by the Jupiter. Take your stupid ass and sit your old monkey bubbles looking ass down somewhere with that bullshit. Go on somewhere. But anyway, I got to get out of here and do some other shit. I'm going to have to see y'all in the next video. Again, if you are new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Hit that motherfucking notification bell to stop coming by here visiting me. And come on and set a spell. You keep eating my greens and shit, and all my fried chicken and my cakefish, and drinking up all my good Kool-Aid. Hit that notification bell. Stick around. Subscribe. Like these videos. Share this video. Go back and look at the other ones and do the same motherfucking thing. For you faithful subscribers that have already been around with me, I again appreciate you. Still, don't forget to share these videos with somebody, you know, and of course, like them. And I know you've hit the notification bell, so that I definitely appreciate you guys for that. that's pretty much it I got for this. You know, all I have for this. If anything else comes across my desk, you be certain I'll come around and check the shit out and tell you all about it. But anyway, share with somebody you know. Share with a silly motherfucker like this you don't know. Share with somebody you like. Share with now a goofy bitch like this you don't like. Because if you don't like them, well, at this point you probably shouldn't like their ass then, huh? But anyway, I love you guys. Keep high vibration, stay positive, love yourself always, and love those in return that are willing to give you the same back, because anybody got time for that one-way street. Hallelujah. All right. Take care of yourselves. Later.